we relocate our compass? I made a video about the aligned compass and the toad. But the question is it possible to actually relocate your compass, rearrange your compass so that you do not have to get back to the same point you were born, like the toad? The problem being that we are most likely too afraid to do it, actually. It's just a matter of being afraid because we don't know what will happen, we do not know. And if you're German, and you know how it is here, then you know that you're used to a lot of bureaucracy. And this is something to scare you off. The bureaucracy always killed it. The bureaucracy was such a burden, it was unbelievable. And even if you live in another country and say, yes, we got bureaucracy too, it's not the same. I guarantee you that it's not the same. So when you relocate your compass, or when you try to do it, you have to keep in mind that no matter where you go, you will be the foreigner. Forever. So when I look at other countries that are, will most likely be a good place to live for me, at least for that what I want, for that what I need, then I always take into consideration that I will be the foreigner. And if you have responsibility for other people, like your family, your dogs, your cat, whatever it is, they have to come with you. And they have to live there as well. Yeah? Then you might say, oh, well, what has a dog to say about that? If you're not a dog person, then most likely the dog has no saying in this at all, right? There are people. Imagine that. There are people, they want to go into a holiday and they just chain their dog. They chain their dog to a gas station somewhere along the line of the Autobahn or the highway. And there's a special place in hell for them. A special place. While we're talking about dogs, when I got whelps, and I got some dogs, right? And some of them, they just stayed after they were born because they had sort of a damage, because I had them vaccinated. It's, we do it here, we vaccinate the puppies before they go into their new homes. And I did it. And sometimes when I did it, or when the vet did it, after the vaccination, the dog became sick. They became twitchy, like crampy and so on. So I kept them and I fed them and I cured them, so to say. So this is why I get a chip for my dogs, but I do not get them vaccinated. It's poison. So nonetheless, if you want to rearrange your compass or realign your compass, you have to take into consideration if you have the responsibility for family, parents and whatever, and animals. It's just not that easy. And if you have property like I have a house, well, it's not on credit, so it is paid for, but nonetheless, you have to sell it and you have to rearrange everything. And this is something very, very stressful. And this is something that is a big burden if you try to do that. It's more easy if you just rent the flat and then you move from this flat to another flat and you're gone, right? But if you have responsibilities, it's not easy. Another thing is that you are used to live with the society. You know the people, you know the Turks, you know the Poles, you know the Norwegians, whatever, wherever you live, you know it. You know the law, at least. And you know how everything is arranged. And if you go to another country, this will be totally different. And you will feel like the toad in a wrong pond. Lily, maybe you already have an idea where you want to live, but look at that. They have to come with me. They all have to come with me. This is not that easy. In other countries, you don't have to pay taxes for them like you have here in Germany, but you have to get them there somehow, because you cannot leave them behind. I could never do that. And this is something that puts a weight on the compass as well. You could travel the world, you could travel everywhere, you could see where you want to live, but it's not that easy because you have responsibility. And maybe you have. And this will make the alignment of the compass a little bit more difficult. Not even a little bit. That's pretty difficult. And of course we have to take into consideration, what will this all cost, right? The world is run with and by the fuel of money, which in the end is just a frequency. That's why it's called currency. But we have to take into consideration, what will it cost? Moving can be expensive, but if you move from a country like, let's say, Bulgaria to Sweden or to Norway, you will be poor. But if you move from Norway to Bulgaria, you can have a decent living. So this is something to take into consideration as well. It's a split way of seeing this, right? It's bright and dark. So what if it fails? What if it actually fails? What will you do there? What will you work, or how will you survive? These are all questions that you have to answer yourself, and you have to align your compass to that as well. There are a lot of questions to be answered. This is something you have to think through. I'm normally not that kind of person thinking everything to death, right? Because you always find something not fitting. You will find something that will then kill your motivation. And this applies to everything. You can say, well, I want to play guitar, I want to learn piano, I want to learn violin or organ or whatever. You will find something that spits into your soup. And this applies to everything. I had a friend, he moved to Mexico, or to Panama, I think Mexico it was. And he was always wondering, he was way older than I was, but he was always wondering, why am I so not afraid? Why am I so afraid of leaving? Why am I so afraid of starting over? Because he and his wife, they went there just with a suitcase, and that's it. They sold everything and just went there. And I said, hey, well, what about health insurance? And he said, well, most likely you will die on the spot because you have no health insurance. And this is something that woke something up in me. And yes, he's right. And he's still living there. And he's still happy because he's not here. He's not in the EU. Most of the time it's not as complicated as we think, because everything will fit. You can see that. People migrate all the time and they come here and say, oh, well, now I'm here. And then somehow it somehow fits. It somehow works out. And this is something to take into consideration. We tend to think things through to the bottom of them, right? To the very bottom of them. And this will kill the motivation to do so, because you see an overwhelming mountain that you have to climb. If you go step by step, then there will be no mountain. And why am I so dark? This mountain is not real. If you see it from the distance, you think, oh, what a mountain. But if you are at the bottom of the mountain and you go step by step, then you see it's not that hard. It's just we think things through so much that we cannot even realize that by going step by step, it will take the burden away. You cannot move 2 tons of stones, but you can move 300 grams of a stone by stone. So I think this is the best way to describe it. In my opinion, it's just small steps that you have to take. If you see everything at once and you think, oh, this I have to do this and that and this and that and that to consideration, blah, 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 then you will most likely never start. Yeah, you will never start with your adventure. So sometimes you just have to do it and you have to see what will happen. Just trust in Christ consciousness and believe and trust in the things that you feel. You trust to the higher. Yeah? You trust the higher consciousness. And then if you trust, nothing can and will happen, because you and your Father are one. You just have to trust and you have to start. Intentional start, intentional doing. Nothing will and nothing can ever happen to you. Let's assume for a second that you would want to go to the United States, for example. Well, whatever. Yeah? Of course, this is a little bit more complicated than, let's say, from a German perspective, than moving to Hungary, Bulgaria, or whatever, because it's all EU. And moving to America, no, it's not that easy, because there are a lot of forms to fill, there are a lot of applications, a lot of visa you need. So you just cannot go there and say, now I live here. And this is a good thing and a bad thing as well. Let me tell you why. The good thing is, you see it all the time. This was your country. I had a comment today, or 2 comments about that. And this is your country, this was your hometown, it was your city, your village, whatever. And it changed so drastically in the course of the last 10 years. And if it would be like in the US, then it may have not changed and you would not consider leaving. One of you said that he always returned back. And there is a song about that. And the song is called Dem Land, wo meine Wiege stand. The country where my cradle was. Ja, dem Land, wo meine Wiege stand. And in this song, the singer is a very old song. It talks about that even if other countries would present them with even more happiness or more luck, he would still be drawn back to where his home was. He would still be drawn back to where he grew up. We call it Heimweh. Homesickness, I think it's in English. Homesickness. Heimweh zog mich doch zu dir. Mein Deutschland mich zurück. And it's true. And this is a very emotional aspect of it. I know that I could live way better than here in another country right now. I could go to where I want to, well, at least inside the European Union. But it would not matter where you go. Someone commented that it doesn't matter where you go, it affects every country. Yes, it does. He was right, but it affects the countries in a different manner. Let's see, United Kingdom, for example. It's affected pretty bad. Or Germany, it's affected pretty bad. So other countries are not affected that bad. It's like going to a cinema and well, all the movies might be bad or might be not good because they are not real, they are movies, yes? But still, you enjoy the one movie more than the other, even though both are movies. Now think about that. So to conclude this boring video, it is a matter of how you feel. You can feel at home anywhere in the world if your compass is aligned. If you want to go to the United States, what would be the country you would live in? Some say Florida, some say California, some say New York, whatever. For me it would be Maine. And others, they still want to go to United Kingdom, or they still want to go to Scotland or Ireland. My family originates from Scotland, but I would not want to go there because it is not Scotland anymore. And this happened to all the countries here in Europe, in the European Union at least. So what culture would you want to live in? It's a matter of how are the people, how similar you are maybe with them, right? How easy is the language to learn? One of you from Canada commented. I want to know more about that, but how easy is it for maybe your future offspring to find friends or to fit in into a culture? And this is something to take into consideration. Asia is interesting, but Asia is so different. Not only the languages are different, but the people are different. They got a totally different, interesting culture. I do not see myself living there and fitting in because I want to blend into that culture. I want to live that culture then. I don't want to bring my culture there. And this is something to take into consideration as well. Did we learn something today? No, we didn't. But maybe we will explore how to rearrange your compass. And you cannot do any compromises there, yeah? If you want to move, if you leave, then you cannot say, well, that's not ideal, but well, come on, I do it. No compromises. Pick the best for you. Pick the best that fits you the most. And even if it seems difficult, which it should be, you will find a way to figure out how to go there. One love, like and subscribe. Stay tuned if you want, and see you in the next video. And let me know where you would arrange your compass. Bye.